Do I regret buying a DSG? What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to, of course, yet another weekly episode of Sa3 TV. And today, I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit more about what's kind of been pondering on my mind for the past 2 days now. So recently, I drove a manual Audi S3. And it kind of got me thinking a little bit, do I regret buying a DSG? Or do I not? Do I prefer manual? Do I not? The experience of a manual is a little bit different, but today that's something I want to talk to you guys about. But before we do anything, make sure to smash that subscribe button as we're literally on the way to 2K. Guys, so we are back in the car. So now I'm kind of going to talk about the experience I had driving a manual Audi S3. I can definitely say it was a very strange experience. I think going from straight to a manual from a DSG was very weird for me, as I'm not used to it. This was a stock S3, which a friend did obviously let me drive, because I kind of wanted to get the experience of what it's really like. And I will say, it genuinely reminds me of a Golf R quite a bit. And obviously, there's a lot of people that say that the Golf R and the S3 are the same. They're not the same. Yeah, they work off the same platform, but the feel's a little bit different. The Golf R, I know for a fact, in terms of cornering and handling, is very good. I will say it is very, very good. It does feel like a real driver's car. I'm talking about the manual version. And I will say, with the manual Audi S3, it's very like a Golf R. Like I said, it's a strange thing, because I haven't driven a manual in quite a while actually. So it's a very weird experience for me. I think living with a manual Audi S3, for me personally, I personally wouldn't, because I'm so used to DSG. Like I said, I haven't driven manual in quite some time, and I don't think you get the proper experience of the car with a manual. But that's just my opinion. Some of you guys that are watching me probably have a manual S3 could probably disagree. This is from the first impression I got when driving a manual Audi S3, so it was very strange for me. I feel like I could probably get used to it. I'm not going to lie to you. I can probably get used to it. So that was kind of like the first impression of what I thought with the manual S3. So now talking about in terms of modification. So I've spoken to a couple of people, and there are a couple of people that I do know that do have a stage 2 plus or stage 1 S3 in a manual. And they've all told me the same thing. So, and obviously, and this is something I can relate to as well in terms of, so I featured a car, an Audi S1, which was a manual, or they all come in manual, but the owner and a couple of S3 owners and well, manual S3 owners have told me that regardless what you do, the clutch that comes out the manual Audi S3's 8 valves is basically on borrowed time. It's not a very good clutch. It is a horrible clutch. And this is not from, obviously, from experience of my DSG, but from a lot of owners' experiences. So they all seem to buy an uprated clutch kit, which I personally would recommend you guys doing, which is a very good idea. I think that is a very, very good idea, even if you're not going to modify the car, because those clutches are like chocolate. They're very, very famously known to go very quickly. I don't think they were designed, of course, for modifying. The DSG gearboxes actually obviously can take a lot more torque, which I think Audi kind of knew that any owner of an S3 is going to modify. These cars were designed to be modified, so I think that was very clever. With the manual Audi S3, the one thing I will say, obviously, you don't, from stock, you don't get the DSG pops or DSG farts, whatever you want to call it. It didn't have it, so I'm presuming that it doesn't come with it, because obviously it's a DSG feature, it's not a manual feature. Obviously you can get pops and bangs and all that good stuff, but it doesn't have that DSG fart, or whatever you guys want to call it, DSG pop, however people call it these days. I feel like the DSG feature is what really builds the character of a manual S3, of an S3 and a Golf R, and obviously a Cupra. I really feel like that's what builds the character of the car. And I feel like the manual Audi S3 just didn't have that character. When you're driving it, when you're putting your foot down, and I'm not talking about the power, I'm just talking about just general. I don't know, there's something about it which I just couldn't really wrap my head around. I think because obviously, like I'm saying, I'm coming from a DSG S3, not a manual S3, so it's very difficult for me to kind of be like, yeah, it's great. Don't get me wrong, and this is no offense to any people that actually own a manual Audi S3. This is just from what I've driven I drove it for a couple of hours, and I thought it's just not me. You know, some people are either automatic or you just prefer manual. That's just how it is. In my opinion, I feel like manual is good for specific cars. I think specific cars should have an automatic like these hot hatchbacks, because these hot hatchbacks are all about good numbers and being fast. And I think for obviously you can't compare a manual to an automatic in terms of 0 to 60 speeds. It's just not going to happen. As much as people say, yeah, it's just not going to happen. You're comparing a hand with electric. It's a stupid comparison. Right, so I was obviously looking at money and obviously prices in terms of these. Obviously, a manual Audi S3 is cheaper than a DSG, as you know. But the thing is, with manual, it's like I said, it's cheaper to maintain. If a clutch goes, you can replace it very easily. It's not as expensive as a DSG or an S-Tronic. Some people, you know, call it both S-Tronic and DSG. A DSG is very expensive in terms of replacing, maintaining, all that good stuff. Manuals, obviously, it's cheaper. It's better in a way in terms of money-wise. Like I said, guys, please don't criticize me for this video. I think it's just my opinion. Obviously, as you know, everybody's entitled to their opinion. But yeah, I think talking about it now and kind of going over from when I drove the manual Audi S3 compared to my DSG, I think the manual Audi S3 stock, I'm talking stock, right, just doesn't have that character. Obviously, when I first bought the S3, obviously those DSG pops or whatever you want to call it, it's what built the character. It used to really bring a massive smile to my face, and I feel like the manual Audi S3 just didn't have it. I think those cars are dying for a map or something, you know. And I feel like, yeah, I think in terms of going forward, if I ever, obviously, hopefully once the S3 is done, it'll be gone. The next car, it will not be a manual. I'll be honest with you, and it won't be, obviously, it won't be an S3, but who knows? I think the manual is just isn't for me. Do I regret buying a DSG? Not really. I will be honest with you, I don't regret buying a DSG. I absolutely love my DSG. I can tell you 1,000 perks of having a DSG. Yeah, I will say the downfall of having a DSG, it makes you very lazy. I will be honest with you, it makes you very, very lazy. As when you're driving, it's just you just put your foot down. That's it. Really, there's nothing else to it. And I think that's what I love the most about a DSG. If you're on a long drive, constantly manual changing gears, stuck in traffic, DSG is just all the way for me. But yeah, guys, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I tried to explain as much as I can in terms of, do I really regret buying a DSG? Not really. That was my point. DSG for me, I think, is the way forward in terms of the next car and the future cars, if we have any future cars. And obviously, depending on you guys, if you smash the subscribe button, of course, we're literally like en route to 2K. We're getting there slowly. It's a slow build, but we're going to get there, obviously. But yeah, guys, for all the people that obviously drive a manual Audi S3, let me know in the comment section below what you guys think. I mean, obviously, you know, I don't own a manual S3, so I wouldn't know. This is from, like I said, from the first impression. So I feel like I will get criticized for this. I'm not gonna lie to you, but it's the reality. It is what it is. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. But let me know what your experiences are with a manual Audi S3. For the guys that obviously that are modified their Audi S3s at stage 1, stage 2, you know, are you still on the stock clutch? You know, what's the deal? Tell me, guys. I'm genuinely interested to know. The one thing I will definitely say, a manual S3, genuinely can't do this. Too much. Right, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that video, and of course I had to put my foot down. It's a standard procedure with me and obviously this channel, but I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to smash the subscribe button. As I've been saying for the past billion times, we are en route to 2K. I hope you guys found this like informal. If this benefits the people that are actually looking for a car, if it's a benefit for the people that are actually currently thinking about moving cars from like manual to auto, let me know in the comment section below. I hope you guys are staying safe, take care, and make sure to stay tuned for weekly uploads.